FI Asia main states. So the next topic is about the panel discussion on the plant-based liberation, recent insights in product and development technology and their future applications. So this panel discussion is cooperated between Thailand Institute of Scientific and Technological Research and Informal Market. This panel discussion event aims to share and exchange information and knowledge on potential technologies and applications of plant-based development which are beneficial to the plant-based industry together with the consumer and market sectors, as well as to promote collaborative network among Asian experts, researchers on plant-based development technologies and its future applications. This event also aims to strengthen the basis of quantity and safety, improvement and development of plant-based food products, and achievement of food security and sustainability in our region onward. Without further ado, may I invite our special moderator, Dr. Bandit Phangsin, Director of Expert Center of Innovative Health Food of Thailand Institute of Scientific and Technological Research. Please welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone, distinguished guests and the audience. Today, I'm very glad to conduct as the moderator of the panel discussions on the plant-based revolution, recent insight into product and development technologies and their future application. So now we have very great pleasure that we have the special panelists from our member of ASEAN country that containing of 5 countries. So first of all, I would like to invite our panelists to get on the stage. Orderly according to the name of the country. The first representative panelist, Dr. Aida Mayam Basi, lecturer and researcher in Food Science Technology, School of Applied Science and Mathematics, University Technology Brunei, from Brunei. Please welcome Dr. Aida Mayam Basi. So we ordering according to the alphabet of English. So the Brunei country come first. Okay, second one, Dr. Lesmi Tan, Deputy Director Research and Innovation Center, RIC, Institute of Technology of Cambodia, ITC, and lecturer for the Faculty of Chemical and Food Engineering, Cambodia. Please welcome Dr. Lesmi Tang. The third, Dr. Helni Purwanising, Research Center for Food Technology and Processing, National Research and Innovation Agency, BRIN, Indonesia. Please welcome Dr. Helni Purwanising. The third, Dr. Santi Komani, Director Center of Excellence in Environmental Research, Academic Service Office, Lecturer and Researcher, Department of Chemistry, Faculty of National Science, National University of Laos. Please welcome Dr. Santi Komani. The fifth one, Mr. Shaiful Asini Sarifudin, Senior Researcher Officers of Enzyme and Fermentation Technology Program, Food Science and Technology Research Center, Malaysian Agricultural Research and Development Institute, MADI, Malaysia. The sixth, Ms. Trinidad I.T. Arcangel, Supervising Science Research Specialist, National and Food R&D Division Section, Food and Nutrition Research Institute, Department of Science and Technology, Philippines. Please welcome the Sven Dr. Suan Yong Ji Sim, Senior Research Fellows Nutrition Group, Singapore Institute of Foods and Biotechnology Innovation, A-Star, Singapore. Please welcome Dr. Suan Ji Sim. The eighth, Dr. Siriporn Butsri-Kos, Research Officer of Expert Center of Innovative Health Food, InnoFood, Thailand Institute of Scientific and Technical Research, TISTA. Please welcome. And the last one, Dr. Lee Ha Hai, Head of Department of Science, Training and International Cooperation, Vietnam Institute of Agricultural Engineering and Post-Harvest Technology. We have Vietnam. Please welcome. So today, our panelists on the plant-based revolution listen insight into products and development techniques and the future application for today. So on the behalf of the TISTA, Thailand Institute of Scientific and Technical Research, as the head of the subcommittee of science and technology of the ASEAN. So we just have the annual meeting just in the morning, online meeting. So actually we hold for the annual meeting of our country annually. So in the last year, we facing of the pandemics of the COVID crisis. So we have hold the hybrid of the seminar with in online. And today, the situation of the COVID-19 is get better and have more relaxed. So we are very happy and very pleased that we have the member of the ASEAN can join on the meeting today on site today. So today we have the ask to the panelists into the 3 questions that may be for the organizer, maybe sent to you earlier. Maybe you have already prepared for yourself. So the first question that we share the question today, and we will take is about 2 or 5 minutes or more, depend on your convenience on your content. So not so seriously. We can management the time, get in time later. So come to the first question. So according to our plant-based, would you please explain about the study research that you have doing or have done in plant-based food technology to empower the plant-based revolution in your country? So the answer should be according to the ordering to the name of the country. So of course we start from the Brunei from the first time. So please, representative from Brunei of the Dr. Aida Mayam Basi, please.
Thank you, moderator. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. As I was introduced, myself is from Brunei. I'm a lecturer and researcher from University Technology Brunei. And to answer, first of all, I would also like to thank the organizer for giving me the opportunity to come here and along with the ASEAN delegates. Okay, to answer the first question, from Brunei point of view, so myself as a representative from a university, what we have done is based on our researchers' area of interest. Okay, so some of the projects that we are currently doing, one of it is we prepare various formulations to incorporate local vegetables. So we're focusing more on the local vegetables that we have every day, common everyday consumption on vegetables, and which have not been developed into food products yet. So we incorporate these local vegetables as a meatless patty or sausage-like food products. And we focus the formulation that is best suited to withstand freezing conditions, and that there is no effect on the nutritional composition even after freezing for like after 1 week or 1 month. Okay, so this project is still ongoing in order to optimize the texture, the taste, and the shelf life. So that's one of the projects. Another project we're working on is also on formulation. So we're more into developing various food products, which is plant-based. So another one is developing plant-based cream cheese. So on this one, also still ongoing, and we're doing the heating analysis, melting, because it's a bit complicated with cheese. When working with cheese, you have to consider the way it melts, the smell, the taste, the texture, and that is what we're currently working on. We have also other projects working on plant-based food area. One of it is fermented beverages. And my main research area is this is the project that I'm working on, Mini, which is incorporating also local vegetables and into various food products such as noodles. So we have like herbal noodle, herbal rice. I know we do have it's quite a lot. But there's still some more vegetables out there that has not been developed yet. And what we're trying to make it into like snacks, like cookies or biscuits, into beverages such as teas. And we're focusing on the nutritional and functional properties, the shelf life studies, the consumer's acceptance. So we aim to show that these new food products are high in protein, low in fat content, high vitamin and minerals by incorporating the plants into the food products. And what we found that after after having some plant mixtures into food products, we noticed that there is an increase in protein content, reduce in fat content, and we are yet to determine the mechanism out of it. What are these contents? Why is it like that? Okay, so that's what we're working on. So most of our projects are still in the initial stage, very preliminary in Brunei. So there's still a lot more to look into, because even developing the culture of plant-based food in Brunei is very new. It's very new, and when we did a survey, it's still a 50-50 among the consumers in Brunei. So it's very new, and we're still developing. But then there's still an acceptance. So some consumers, they do want to try because of the health benefit of the plant-based food products, and also majority thinks why they don't prefer plant-based is because of the taste. So it's still something we need to work on from Brunei point of view, and in order for these plant-based food products are to be accepted and commercialized in the future. Yeah, that's all from myself.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aida Mayam-Rasi. So in Brunei also, the people of Brunei have considered to have vegetable food and products as well. So the development of the researchers still going on in the development of some cheese from bean, plant-based foods in local vegetable, in snack, cookie. So have research on the nutrition and of the functional, the property of the foods as well. And the research of the plant-based in Brunei is still new thing in Brunei. Maybe you going on later. Thank you very much. So we turn to the second, Dr. Lesmi Tan from Cambodia. So please show your the idea, the question. Yeah.
Okay, afternoon everyone. My name is Tan Resmay from Cambodia. Currently, I am a Deputy Director of Research and Innovation Center at Institute of Technology of Cambodia. Today is my great honor to be here, and I would like to thank the organizer for the invitation to join this event. And now let me share about my research experiences related to plant-based products. So can you move to next slide? Yes, so my first project is related to development of fermentation process of Cambodian soy sauce. Actually, in Cambodia, we have local soy sauce, but the quality still be limited and the price of the soy sauce still be cheap. And we also have a lot of imported soy sauce from other countries. Therefore, I would like to produce Cambodian soy sauce by fermentation method with good quality and transfer the technology to the private sector. So this project is in higher education improvement project of our Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport, or we call World Bank Loan Project. And we have a research collaborator is Kasesat University in Thailand. And as you can see in the picture, recently we went to visit the big soy sauce company in Thailand. And we also have a collaboration with the private sector in Cambodia called Ngơ Heng. So can you move to next slide? Yeah, my second project is about development of cooking oil processes for commercialization. In Cambodia, we not yet have our own soybean oil yet. So we import a lot of soybean oil and also other cooking oil from other country. So that's why we come up with this project in order to have our own soybean oil. And this also under a higher education improvement project funded by our ministry. And our research partner is UPM in Malaysia. And we also have private sector who collaborate with us called Dara Khmer Sacha Inchi. And the objective of our research is to develop cooking oil processes from soybean and also Sacha Inchi nut using screw press extraction method in order to produce cooking oil with good quality and to transfer the technology to private sector. Yes, can you move to next? And my third project is about development of soy meal, soy yogurt, and cookie from okra. Maybe some of you don't know what is okra. Okra is the waste obtained from the tofu and also soy meal processing. So in Cambodia now, tofu company, they produce a lot of okra, but they discard as a waste. So that's why the company want us to help them to develop into the cookie, and also the company want to produce also other product like soy meal, soy yogurt beside tofu. So this project is we call a Kava project funded by Australia. And it is a platform called Academia Public and Private Sector Platform. So it's a good platform that can push the economic growth in Cambodia because us as academia, we provide the technical support, and for the public sector, they provide the financial support, and for the private sector, they also contribute some amount of money for this product development. So, can you move to the next slide? Yes, another project, also Kava project, we focus on development of mango peel powder and mango seed oil. We held a big company in Cambodia who produce dry mango for export. So currently they discard the mango peel and also the kernel of the mango. So now they want to make use of this product. So we help them to develop into the powder for the cow feed and also to make the oil, mango kernel oil for like cosmetic. So this two project we just finished and we already transfer the technology to the private sector. Yes, can you move to next slide? One more slide, please. Yes, my another project is about development of fermented cucumber by using free-dry lactic acid bacteria. It's a laboratory-based education or LBE project funded by JICA. So in this project, our purpose is to develop fermented cucumber by using free-dry lactic acid bacteria that are useful for taste and preservation. So we are looking for the lactic acid bacteria that can provide a good taste of fermented cucumber and also can produce the bacteriocin that can prolong the shelf life of the fermented cucumber. So as you can see in this picture, it is how fermented cucumber are sold in the market. So normally they are sold in open container. So as you can see, the quality and also safety still be limited. So we want to improve the fermented cucumber in Cambodia. And we also want to isolate the good lactic acid bacteria. And the lactic acid bacteria are free-dry into the powder so that we can put easily into the fermentation tank. Yes, so that picture is our prototype. So I think that's all for me. Thank you very much. And I'm also looking for more collaboration with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lesmi Tang from the Cambodia. So Cambodia also have done several of the project development on the plant-based as well. That she have mentioned maybe 3 or 4 projects at the moment in the mainly the development of cooking oils in Cambodia that still have not yet launched for the industry in Cambodia. So they also have the cooperation with Thailand as well for the Kasetsart University, and also some of the mango, and also some of the soy sauce project, and also the fermented development of fermented cucumber, by supporting of the JICA project from Japan, and the isolate of the lactic acid bacteria to produce and make up your own strain in your country. I think, okay, that's a very nice and very informative data from Cambodia. So turn to the third one, that the same question, Dr. Heni Purwaningsih from Indonesia. So would you please express of the detail of the first question, please?
Thank you. I want to say for organizer in the event. And my name is Heni Purwaningsih from Yogyakarta, Indonesia. I focus in functional food, and then my work in National Research Innovation Agency in Indonesia. And we can talk about best plant in Indonesia. Best plant protein in Indonesia is local food like tempe and cassava, and then the food consumption by the local community is in accordance with the potential and local wisdom. We can introduce the innovation technology. Next slide. And then we can mix cassava and tempeh with other ingredients, and we get functional food that is good for healthy on the body. And then functional food in Indonesia is a food drink, but not capsule, powder, and then contain in certain bioactive compound, and then must be an ingredient that is consumed as part at the daily diet, and then has a certain function after consumption. Nah, the first product in Indonesia is mocaf, modification of cassava. Mocaf is a food product from cassava that is processed with fermentation technique to modify cassava flour, and then microbes that grow cause changes in character, like the name is increase the viscosity, gelatination ability, and rehydration power and easy of dissolving. And mocap can be used as a substitute of wheat flour. Benefit from mocap from product from Indonesia, there is mineral content is higher compared with the rice and flour, and then next slide, good for digestion, and then contains of function and then good for substitution with flour. This is next slide. This is a process from cassava filling, chip making, and chip soaking, and chip fermentation, and then sterilization, and flour sieve, and chip mill, and then chip drying, and then chip rising, and then culture of lactic acid and cell multiplication, and then centrifugation to harvest cell. This is a process of starter to mocaf. Next slide. This is a mocaf starter making a process like culture of lactic acid, cell multiplication, and starter packaging to 25 per sachet. And then next slide. Next slide. This is implementation for the farmer group, because collaboration is farmer woman group to increase the product, and then they process technology with Lactobacillus plantarum, and we implementation to make a product from mocaf, like in the picture. This is my implementation in my country in the woman farmer group. Next. This is also processed in my country, like bowl cassava, and we can mix with fish, and then the good from increase in protein in my country. Next slide. This is my product. It's good for in Indonesia, and they increase consumer. This transfer instant mocaf noodle. This is good. We can mix with moringa leaf, and then increase in the protein 1.88 to 636. Next slide. And the second product is tempe flour. Tempe flour is typical Indonesia food made from fermentation, soybean, or several other ingredients using several type of risofus. And then other names, tempe in Thailand maybe tuo now, right? And then tempe's functional properties include antioxidant. This is good for the healthy. Next slide. This is a processing from tempe. Next. And this is a physicochemical characteristic of tempe from Indonesia. The highest protein, 50.64 protein percent. And the next, the composition of amino acid profile is chemical score in 3.72, and then amino acid index is 35.95. And the next slide. This is implementation in Tolder in Indonesia. We can give biscuit from tempe and mix with other ingredient, and then results show that the increase weight every month in my country. This is a good for growth for children. And next slide. This is a biscuit, several biscuit from tempe and mixed with other ingredient, and the effect good for the children also. And then every month, the increase of the body and height. Next. This is a result for our research. Every month, we child increase in weight and increase in the tall, the height. And then next slide. This is a product Entrafit. It's good for the diabetes. This is rice, mung bean, tempe, and kana tuber, glucose, skim, and salt, and we can mix with margarine, and we can Entrafit to reduce of diabetes mellitus. Next. This is also from Indonesia. Diet is good because in low index glycemic content, and then we can eat 2 days 2 packs. Per pack is 25 gram. That is good for reduce diabetes in Indonesia. That is popular in Indonesia, and we can increase consumer by collaborative with university and farmer group and home industry. Next slide. Okay, this is me from Indonesia, and it's good for the body because they have a functional food. Next. This is tempe and moringa to mix with to good for the body also, and then it's a favorite in Indonesia to eat, and some people is like that. Next slide. Yeah, this is cassava flour and mixed with office. Like the same product, the fiber rice diet noodle. It is good for the reduce for anemia for the children, right? And this is all drinks from Indonesia. This is from made from spices and herb. This is good for healthy. And then there is culinary in Indonesia. So in Indonesia, like can increase product with all other culinary in Indonesia, like in Yogyakarta. This is a good because cheaper and then they have a functional for food. Okay, thank you. This is our from my country, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Henny. Thank you for your informative data for the plant-based. So several of the kind of foods in Indonesia. So actually, the very popular in Indonesia is the tempeh. That mentioned that is the typical Indonesian fermented soybean. So very famous in Thailand also. And also you have the development of several kind of food. For example, from the cassava, just mentioned about the mocaf, the modified starch flour from the cassava that use the fermentation from the lactic acid bacteria that you have the mention of the lactobacillus plantarum. So this strain is have the property of probiotic as well. Maybe it's very healthy food for the consumer. And you mentioned the tempeh, very high protein content, up to 50% protein content. Very high protein from the plant-based food, very interesting. And you can modify many several of the foods, just like the biscuit from the tempeh, that increasing of the fiber inside, interfit, and mori, yeah, the functional food. And also not from only food, you also the development of several kind of beverage for drink that use your tradition, your products from your country. So very interesting. Thank you very much. So now we turn to the fourth one from the Lao, Dr. Santi Gomani. So would you please explain for the content of about plant-based doing in your country, please?
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, so thank you very much, the organizer, inviting me to join this event, and it's very interesting to me to know all of you and to know the event. Especially, this is very good opportunity for Laos to learn, to know what we have to do in the next. This is revolution. And first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Santi Gongmani. My major is chemistry. So I'm lecturer from the National University of Laos. And my research mainly on food safety, because as you know, if you talk about the food, first the upstream is how about your raw material? That is good material for the next processing process or not? And then the food safety is the first priority before and after that we eat, okay? And the second thing that I do research is the plant-based product. So I currently focus on the bioplastic from plant waste, okay? And we are currently doing, and we also do some kind of research on cellulosic material from plant waste, okay? You know that if we produce paper, we have to cut the tree. But in the future, we have not to cut the tree. We have to do some kind of synthesis of cellulose material, okay? So that we can save environment. And that's my major. And the first question that the organizer gives to me is the second one is about how can we prepare for the future application on the food base. Of course, we have to know about our human being behavior on food eating, right? So in Laos, we, you know, even in Thailand, in Cambodia also, we grow a lot of rice. And rice is the main staple in Laos. So our researcher team now think about if we can transform the rice material to be the rice product in different kind of food product of rice. It would be very good. And next, please, next, please. Okay, next. Yeah, next. Okay, if you can see the figure here is like kochi rice. Kochi rice is the starter from the rice that the Japanese people they develop. So in our country, like Laos, we also would like to learn and to apply this kind of biotechnology to transform rice material to the rice product. Because as you know that if we eat rice, we could not get all nutrients that in the rice. So we have to try to transform all nutrients in the rice in available form that we can use for our body. That is very important. That's why Japanese researchers, scientists, they develop this kind of technology. So we will try to do similar in the future. Yes. Next. And if you can see in this figure, rice is the most plant that we use for consumption. Yeah, almost 60% of the plant base is rice. Okay, next. And you can see here, there are many kind of plant that we consume, we eat, and rice still remain. Okay, thank you. Next. And not only rice, but also there are many plants that we can use for as the potential material for food processing. As you can see in this figure, in this chart, you can see that the productions of crops in Laos is increasingly year by year and slowly in the first 10 years, but now it is high production rate because we would like to export the agricultural product to other countries. Now we try to export to Europe or to other countries. Yes, thank you. So next. And you can see there are many kind of fruits and vegetables in Laos, like in Thailand as well. So we try to motivate our researcher, our exporter, our industrial, try to innovate plant-based product. And now we have some kind of plant-based product already, but not so renowned. So we will try to do next to promote our product. And next, here is some kind of foods. You know that normally Lao people like to eat fresh, not processed one, from the factory. Okay, we like to eat fresh. You can see there are many kind of food that's look very delicious and very fresh, healthy. Okay, next. Okay, this very many kind of food that's mostly plant-based food. Okay, next. And when we talk about the food, then we also think about the consumption by the plants time. Okay, and you can see that only 13% that's meat-based food. Okay, that's almost Lao people eat. That means more than 80% is plant-based food that we like to have. So that means plant-based food in Laos, it would be very interesting. Okay, next. And if you can see this data, we try to have a survey with our researchers about the consumptions of food by the age. You can see that the consumption of food by the age is different. So that's why if we want to promote the plant-based product, we have to think about the target customer. Who is your target? Then and then how they behave of eating. Then you will find the right way how to produce the right product to the right customer. This is very important. Okay, next. Okay, and this is the same as previously. Okay, next. And the third point is how can we think for the future in our ASEAN region? Next, okay. For example, so next. So we have to promote the plant cultivation, the plant production, quality and quantity. That's very important because if you have enough raw material, you have enough production of plant-based food, okay? And the second thing is post-harvesting technology is very important because if you cannot store your material in the right way, then your raw material become the waste. You know, if you process the bean, you know alpha toxin, okay? If you store the bean incorrectly, alpha toxin will be high in your food, okay? So post-harvest processing technology also very important, okay? And the third point is we have to share the knowledge. As you can see here, we have many member states of ASEAN on the stage. That means that we would like to share how can we develop together. That means our point is harmonization. Now, all the world, we try to harmonization of the technology. So we have to think together, do together, and grow together. That's very important, okay? And the next point is develop. We have to develop the technology as previously. We have to develop if Indonesia, Malaysia, Indonesia of Brunei develop some kind of technology that we can apply in other country in the region. That would be very good. So we develop together, okay? And we think that also the legume, like a pea and bean, yes, it is very good source for protein, plant-based protein. So this is promising because we need protein also, not only the other nutrients like a vitamin. And the next point is awareness. How can we promote the plant-based food to customers? So we have to give them knowledge. We have to give them to know what is the benefit to their health, what is the benefit to the environment, what is benefit for the society. So the awareness is very important. If they don't know what's benefit, they don't support us. Okay? So this is very important point that I would like to focus. So next, maybe, yeah. And now currently we have not focused much on the plant-based technology development because lack of fund, lack of human resource, and also lack of facility. But from now, we will harmonize together, we will do together and develop together. And of course, I'm sure that you will help us as well on this. And we have do some kind of nutritional sensitive agriculture. So we give knowledge to the farmer, to the people, how about the benefit of the food, of what type of food they should eat and what type of food they should avoid for their health. And then also for the farmer in terms of food security. Yes. Next. Yeah. No. Before. Okay. Next. Enough. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Santi Kongmani from Lao, PDR. So very interesting and very all cover all the area and mention that you all that mentioned so solo area you mentioned in the round. So also you mentioned for the main raw material in Laos is rice. Yeah, that you can cultivate rice most in the country. And you have mentioned you use the rice to develop kind of food for the functional food, like you make the koji rice, just like the starter from the algae of the stain of Aspergillus oryzae that can produce, you can extract or isolate of some the nutrition from the rice to the products as well. And particularly in the Lao people, they have at the lifestyle, they consume of the plant-based really high, actually. So you have mentioned that the Lao people consume plant-based food more than 80%. So only consume for the meat-based less than 20%. And you also have the different kind of food according to the group of the aging people from the different kind of age as well. And you have more the mention to empower to handling the potential in our region to about the plant-based to promote for the product of the raw material in the product, in the quality, in the post-harvest technology, and the share knowledge with the private sector and also the community, and also in development. And also you have mentioned more to about the makes the awareness of the public for consume for the plant-based and for the good health and for to care to the environment as well. So thank you much. So now we turn to the fifth panelist of the Malaysia. So Dr. Saiful Asni Salifuddin. So would you please express about the detail of the question, please?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Good day, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer for having me today for the conference and seminar. Next slide, please. My name is Saiful Azni, and I came from Mardi and stationed in the enzyme and fermentation technology program. Next slide, please. Since we involved in enzyme and microbial technology, this is our core, the heart of our program, the culture collection for functional food cultures. Next slide, please. We've been bioprospecting for the last 10 years around Malaysia to isolate and characterize microbial from fermented food products and also from waste. Next slide, please. And this is the 5 most company bought from us. We name our cultures the Pemula. People always buy for fermented tapai, for soy sauce, fermented soybean, kampuchati, nata de coco, and yogurt. Next slide, please. These are the potential plant-based materials in Malaysia. There are 3 states in Malaysia which produce a lot of agricultural produce, and we also produce a lot of agricultural waste. This waste can be valorized to produce product for health and supplement. Next slide, please. First, we go to the coconut. The coconut, mature coconut water, we throw it away from the coconut milk industry. From the coconut water, we produce nata de coco, which is the bacterial cellulose. And also, we grow probiotics and we produce probiotic drinks from the coconut water. And we also produce vinegar from the coconut water. And we do infuse vinegar with ginger, herbs, and also roselle. And we develop vinegar-based sport drinks. We also develop vinegar in powder form. Next slide, please. For this one, in the virgin coconut oil industry, they produce massive byproducts. From the byproducts, we culture lactic acid bacteria and produce yogurt. And we produce in liquid form and also in freeze-dried form, and we enrich it with medium chain fatty acid. And we also produce coconut flour, and from that flour we can make noodles and also cereals. Next slide, please. Another waste product from agriculture which we can exploit is the pineapple waste. From the pineapple waste, again, we can produce vinegar. Next slide, please. We also produce dietary fiber powder from the pineapple pomace, which we can produce high fiber granola bar and also crispy puff balls. Next slide, please. And another one is from the jackfruit waste. Jackfruit seeds, we concentrate on jackfruit seeds because they have high proteins. So it can be an alternative flour. It also can be, from the flour, we can do all sorts of things, cookies and other food materials. Next, please. Thank you. Another one is the young jackfruit, because during the fruiting season, they need to do pruning and thinning to make the fruits larger. So the waste, we pack it into brine so that later it can be used for salad and another cooking. Next slide, please. The leaf. Usually kombucha, we are using tea, green tea, but this time we use the jackfruit leaf as the substrate. We convert it into kombucha tea, and we found it's very good to be consumed, and it can change the microbiota of GI tract. Next slide, please. For non-food products, also we can exploit the pineapple waste into food containers. Next slide, please. This is the breadfruit. We hydrolyze the starch to make it shorter chain of sugar, and it can be formulated into a wound healing product. Next slide, please. Of all the product that we produce, most of it will be tested into some sorts of functionality study. As an example, the mung bean tempeh, we study the extract, and it shows some activity on anti-cancer cells, hepatoprotective effects, also immunomodulatory effects, and also anti-diabetic effects. Next slide, please. We also study various types of vinegar. We produce vinegar from coconut sap, nipa sap, coconut water, pineapple, and we found that they have anti-obesity study. They reduce body weight and fat pad in mice. And we also do gene expression study, where we look into the several pathways to look into the genes regulation. Next slide, please. I think lastly, this is the take-home notes. What we do in our program is that we valorize waste from agriculture through fermentation to improve their metabolites and enhance flavor preservation into products of traditional products or new products. And we are ongoing doing it, and our future focus are rebranding, validation of the claims, and processing technology to improve it, and also to go into more economical drying technology without sacrificing the nutrient content of the products. I think that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sufil Asadi Sanuddin from Malaysia. So very impressive the presentation that Malaysia also have the several research and development for the plant-based foods. So several you have mentioned the content of the you make from depending on your raw material of coconut. Yeah, you make from the coconut water, coconut juice to make the nata de coco, and you make the vinegar for healthy. And the vinegar can use as the sprouting, and the coconuts can make to the coconut yogurt, and also you have the use of the waste of the pineapple to make some vinegar, and also for the dietary fiber as well. And the jackfruit that can make is the dietary fiber, and the young jackfruit you can make a dry one to make the salads, and also you can make the healthy tea drink from jackfruit as well, jackfruit waste. And also you have to make one of the medical, maybe just the healing wound for the healer one. And also you have the study about the functionals, characterize of the function study, for example, for the anti-cancer cells formation, immunology effect. And also some vinegar, you have the study for the anti-obesity to reduce the weight, making anything the fat. Yeah. So thank you very much. Yeah. So turn to the next panelist, the Mrs. Trinidad T. Arcangel from Philippines. Yeah. Would you
Yes.
please? Yeah. Thank you.
A pleasant afternoon to everyone. I am Trinidad II Arcangel, and I am the lead program project or program leader of development of different food products at the Food and Nutrition Research Institute, Department of Science and Technology in the Philippines. So next slide please. So let me begin my presentation by first showing you what are the commonly consumed foods in the Philippines so that you may understand why we are developing these products. So next slide please. Okay, so results of the National Nutrition Survey showed that Filipinos usually eat rice, just like the report of Dr. Satim. No, it is the number one most commonly consumed food. And next to it are vegetables, and then we have the fish and fish products, and then we have the animal-based food products. Next slide, please. Okay, so now we are looking into the different food sources in the Philippines. Comparing the data from the 2015 survey to the 2019 survey, it showed that there is a significant increase in the consumption of animal-based food products. And there is also a significant decrease in the consumption of plant-based food products. So from there, next slide, please. So this result shows us the percentage household meeting the adequacy of energy and protein requirement. So even if the Filipinos are eating rice, meats, and vegetable, it showed that we were not able to we have a very low energy intake. No? So also of all the nutrients, iron is the least met micronutrient, and niacin is the most met micronutrient. Next slide, please. So we know for a fact that 2 to 3 years from now, the population will grow, and the demand for for protein from animal sources will also increase. Thereby, the consequences of this is that it creates a higher demand for basic grains to feed the livestock, and it competes with the needs of the poor for the same food supply. And then it decreases the price for basic goods, specifically for rice and corn, and it increases antibiotic-resistant strains of bacteria in humans due to the consumption of antibiotic-fed animals. for disease prevention. And also, this will also lead with the triple burden of malnutrition. So with this, we can say we have to shift to a more nutritious food products that are more sustainable and plant-based. And also, we look into dietary diversification strategies so that we can educate the people of what they have to eat, that it's not always have to be an animal source. Next slide, please. So the Food and Nutrition Research Institute is mandated by the government to create or develop different products to add the malnutrition problems in our country. So examples of these products are the complementary foods. So these complementary foods are solutions to address the protein and energy micronutrient for children. So most of our complementary foods are plant-based. So we have an example of the rice mongo curls, the rice mongo crunchies, and we have the cocoa puffs, the cocoa bisque, and the cocoa blend. So this can be given for, the cocoa blend can be given to children 6 months and older as a complementary food. So another type of plant-based product in the Philippines are the vegetable supplemented products. So an example of this, we have something we call the My Vita Champ Enhanced Nutriban, wherein we incorporated squash, sweet potato, and carrots to increase the beta-carotene content of the product. We also have, in the Philippines, we have these noodles we call the pancit canton. We also supplemented that with squash and saluyot. It is a type of a local spinach in the Philippines. And then we also have the ready-to-eat foods, wherein we develop high-protein food bars for the general population, the brown rice bar, and of course, we have also the canned laing and the canned pochero. So these are types of foods that Filipinos eat that we were able to develop. So aside from the products, we also had developed a technology. We called it the low humidity, low heat dryer, or the LH2, wherein we dry the samples, usually the plant or the vegetable samples, in low heat and low humidity so that the sensory properties of the products that are being dried are more retained, and the nutrient content of all the food products being dried is also retained. Next. Okay, so basically FNRI hasn't done yet any plant-based or alternative to meat products, but it is already in the pipeline for the projects and programs to be implemented in the succeeding years. But also let me share to you another institute that is also developing plant-based food products, and this is protein concentrates from industrial scale processing byproducts, wherein these byproducts are being processed so that it can be used for other sources like for sports drink and for replacement as for meat ingredients. Okay, so aside from that, I also did a research from the industry side. So there are some small, medium entrepreneurs that also conducted different food product development and is now on a small scale production. So instead of using meat, they use jackfruit, mung bean flour, soy protein, wheat protein, microalgae, pea protein, rice protein, chickpeas, and corn protein. Okay, so next slide, please. So these are just the examples of the commercially available food products that are plant-based in the Philippines. So you can see they have sausages, they have nuggets, they have burgers, and the different meals that we usually eat in the Philippines, the adobo, if you are familiar with that, the adobo, and we have the caldereta, but they are not using animal meat, but a different source of protein from these plant-based sources. So that's all for the Philippines. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Trinidad Castell from Philippines. So very impressive information about the Philippines. So actually, you have mentioned the Philippines actually consume vegetable or plant-based in daily day. So, but maybe some concern a little bit about the increasing of the consumption of the meat increase. You have mentioned like that. Maybe you have the solution, I think. Okay, so you have also you have the plant-based to do the survey of the use the rice, mango, and also other the vegetable supplement products and ready to eat food from the plant-based, from the base of the high protein content of food and bean. And also you have mentioned for the process, for the technology that can have the handle in this production of the low heat, of the low dryers and the LH2. And also you also survey for the commercialized available of the product content of plant-based in the market in Philippines as well. So several kind of raw material that you mentioned in the jackfruit, mung beans, wheat proteins, also from the algae also as well, and chickpea, something like that. So thank you very much for very informative presentation. So now we turn to the Singapore. So Dr. Chuan Yang J. Sim. So would you please explain for the detail of the plant-based R&D in Singapore, please?
Thank you. Good afternoon. So I do not have any slides, so hopefully it won't take too long. So my name is Sean. I'm a representative from Singapore. What has Singapore got to do with all of this? We are not an agricultural country. We don't grow much of our food. In fact, we import most of our food. But as you probably know from COVID, from global warming, food security is an issue that's very important to us because if we are not able to import sufficient foods, then it's really an existential question for us. As such, the Singapore government has put in quite a bit of resources in a program called the Singapore Food Story to really focus on how we can produce 30% of our nutritional needs by 2030. So I come from an institute which is pretty new, about 2 years old. It's called the Singapore Institute of Food and Biotechnology Innovation. It's a very special institute because under one roof, we can do pretty much everything from biotechnology, enzyme designing, all the way to creating small molecules, creating food products, scaling up with food process engineering, and most importantly, clinical nutrition. So we are able to validate that the foods that you eat is nutritious and is safe for you. And the things that we have done in Singapore, for example, I'm not sure if you know this, but Singapore is the first country in the world to approve the sale of lab-grown meat. So we have lab-grown chicken that is under the brand Good Meats that is approved for sale and for consumption. I've tried it, it's pretty good. So that's one of the things we are trying to do to play in this global food space. But for our side, in the nutrition center, which I come from, actually, as I walk around the booths, I'm quite heartened to see that some of the brands that are here are actually companies we worked with. So brands like DSM, and some of you may have attended maybe the talk by Benio this morning. They were talking about sugar palatinose, that's a low GI sugar, and they were showing some clinical data on how it's actually low GI. We are the ones that carry out that study. But I mean, it's going to take too long to talk about everything that the Institute does, so I'm just going to talk about what I focus on in the plant-based space. So I do 3 things. First thing, developing plant-based ingredients, looking at proteins, plant proteins, and plant-based fats. So as you probably know, these are very critical components in creating plant-based foods. And if you look around the various companies, they're all selling various types of proteins from plant-based sources. But one of the main challenges as I talk to different companies is how do you get these proteins to become functional, to actually be able to work in creating the products that are actually nutritious. So I work in that area on helping companies to design new ways of extraction, isolation, and functionalization of proteins. But if you just look at the proteins alone, then you're going to create products like minced meat, burger patties, nuggets. What about the whole meat cuts, like your steak, salmon, fish, all these things? They have quite a bit, a substantial amount of fat. And the problem is with plant-based fats, they really don't have a lot of options, right? You have your cocoa butter, your coconut oil, your shea butter, and then the rest is hydrogenated, interesterified vegetable oils. But then you have problems of maybe trans fats or saturated fat, which is not very good. And even then, they don't really perform like animal fat. So that's the thing that I work on and try to create the next generation of plant-based fats that you can put it into your extruder, it doesn't melt. It gives you that juiciness in your steak and things like that. So that's the first thing, plant-based ingredients. Second thing, designing new types of processes. So a lot of these plant-based foods, you cannot use the same old methods that you use for animal products to make it. So you have to rethink how we do and design the foods. I'll give you an example later. The third thing that I then do is then creating plant-based foods, focusing mainly on plant-based egg and plant-based dairy. So let me just give you one example. I work in the area of plant-based yogurts. And if you look at traditional dairy yogurts, it's made by fermentation of dairy milk. And then you add a culture, and then it acidifies the milk, and then it coagulates, you form yogurt. And the process is fantastic, it's been perfected. But when it comes to plant-based milks, they are not the same. They don't have the same type of sugars. You have much lower protein content. The sort of the culture you use is not optimized. And so the problem that a lot of companies tell us is that you can't get the same texture. You're going to have separation. And most importantly, you can't get high protein content. It's usually quite low. So what we have actually done is we actually say, why do we need fermentation to make the texture of yogurt? So we actually use another process called high pressure processing. And by using the effects of pressure to change the structure of proteins, we can actually create a texture of yogurts without the sandiness. And most importantly, we can hit the protein content above 10%. So that's actually comparable or even higher than dairy yogurts. So in a nutshell, that's what I do. I'll be happy to talk more in subsequent questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Xuan Yang Cheng Li. Very informative, very interesting, very in the high technology in the Singapore that you mentioned. So you mentioned we used to use the biotechnology, and also the scaling up is very important, and also we have studied in the nutrition as well. And also we have to test for the function, mainly should be in the cell system, should be have to done. And the three things that you have the ingredients of the plant-based should be the protein, some fat, and so you have make sure develop of the plant-based fat, and also for the texture is also the important for the plant-based food as well. And also the study about the high protein and high protein content and texture for the plant-based. Yeah, for very interesting for the future that should be studied. Yeah, thank you very much. Now we turn to the also from our host Thailand. Yeah, Dr. Siriporn Butsikoth. Would you please express for the information about the R&D about the plant-based in Thailand, please?
Thank you, Dr. Bandit. First of all, I would like to thank you, the Informa and FI Ingredient that having me today and to share our experience with the ASEAN regions. So I'm Dr. Siriporn Butsikoth from Expert Center of Innovative Health Food. Today I just want to share you what we are ongoing and what we have done for our research in our center. Could you please next slide please? Go next. I will talk quickly because I think it's late for our topic today. Can you please next? Oh yes, stop at this slide. What we have done for our center, we have a research and development for a product like plenty of product. We have drink, we have cookie, we have sweet, we have dessert, ice cream, something like that. It's made from the plant-based, from, for example, like rice, fruit, like a pineapple, lime juice, something like that. But the challenge idea for our expert center is make food like functional food. You know, in the past, we used the thermal process, like making a food like tasty, but now we need to concern about functional and mental health for human. Like need to careful about the calorie nutrition that we intake to our body. Next slide, please. Yeah, next. I prepare a lot, but I don't want to talk too much because we have 3 topics today. We will talk and conclusion for next topic. Okay. As we know, the weekend was famous now. Next, please. Yeah. Next. Okay. Yes. Stop. Next one. Yep. This one, like Singapore, we have the same passion actually. We extract the plant-based ingredients from plant-based resources. Like for example, I will give you an example like legume, mushroom, and algae that we produce the functional ingredients like high proteins and have high nutritional. Next, please. Yes. After that, we research and development. We do like this one, for example, we do a brown rice. Actually, we process a lot of food like ready to drink, cider, brown rice, yogurt, ice cream, and syrup, and the cookie, and like for a flour or oil. Like right band oil, something like that. Okay, next one. Okay, this is the what we are going to. We focus on the legume from the local, like this one. The 3 of this one from a northern of Thailand. We want to encourage the farmer to to sell their raw material, to try to upscale and make the alternative source to our customer. Okay, next one. Okay, this is the example too. We have a freeze-dried fruit, isomaltose, that is the ethereal fiber, right? Okay, next one. Yeah, that's I mentioned. It's not the food process, normal process now. We have to challenge and do like innovative. So nowadays, our customer, we concern about the healthy food. So we have the big project that is ongoing about the NCD, non-communicable disease. So we focus natural functional ingredient, functional food, dietary supplement, and alternative plant-based too. So next. Yeah, this is like, for example, we do extraction and we test the property, like antioxidant, enhance the immune system, something like that, and we extract a soluble dietary fiber from the mango. The mango peel, this is the waste actually. We don't eat it, but we collect them and extract and like enhance the property, the soluble fiber. And next please. Yeah, this one like the example. we have extract from a lotus seeds. This one, if you have seen a lotus seeds, we study the property like to reduce the high blood pressure. This one we test in vitro, in vivo, and in humans soon. We have collaboration with the university in Thailand. We test, we create and produce the instant soup, and then we put the extract, the lotus extract, and we test in the human to check how it help to reduce the blood pressure. Okay, next one, please. Yeah, this one we and my colleague we developed this product. If you see the ingredients like the pudding, we adding some extract, fruit extract in the pudding, and instant soup that I mentioned, and the cacao mousse. Okay, next one, please. Yes, this is like I will give you example that we have done. This is the chip and snack and jelly energy. Okay, next please. Yeah, if I as I mentioned, all of a lot of product that we have done in our center, it was helped the farmer, and we very concerned and forgot about the area bed. We want to encourage them, yeah, this is the point that I would love to share, because the next question is would take so long. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sriphon. Thank you very much. So Thailand have done a lot of R&D in plant-based as well, solos of the product, of the functional the products, and also you have mentioned of the isolation technique for the protein, and also the development of many kind of the product for the health, antioxidants, some additive fiber, and to reducing of the high blood pressure, and also enhance of immunity, and also several kind of raw material in Thailand have the advantage, have the potential for isolation of the ingredient and develop for the functional food. Thank you very much. So now turn to the last of the question of Dr. Lee Ha Hai from Vietnam. Would you please express for the information about the research R&D on the plant-based, please? Dr. Lee Ha Hai, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lê Ha Hai. I'm from Vietnam Institute of Agriculture, Engineering and Post-Harvest Technology. Our institute is a key national institution of Vietnam. Our institute belongs to Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development of Vietnam. Today, I am sharing our recent research on fruits and vegetables in Vietnam. Yeah. As you know, Vietnam is an agricultural country with diversity of fruits, including mango fruit, lychee, longan, dragon, and so many kind of fruit. Yeah. In the first 9 months of 2022, Vietnam exported about $3.3 billion fruit and vegetables to foreign countries. Yeah. However, the values of exporting a fruit of Vietnam is so low because of the expenditure for transportation by air is so high. For that reason, we try to find out technologies to enhancing the value of exported fruit by sea line, prolong the shelf life of fruit more than 20 days to export fruit to foreign country by sea line. Yeah. From that reason, we have been developing a method is mixed wax coating for fruit, including orange fruits and passion fruit. Yeah. by using mixed wax coating for fruit. Bee wax and carnauba wax are natural wax. We mixed bee wax and carnauba wax together and coat for fruit such as orange and passion fruit. Results from our research show that we can prolong the shelf life of orange and passion fruit more than 40 days. Enough time to export fruit to foreign country by sea life. Besides, now Chinese government permits Vietnam meat fruit to export to China market, including 7 kinds of fruit, mainly export to China. We continue to apply wax coating for dragon fruit, longan fruit, lychee fruit, mango fruit for exporting to Chinese market. Another reason our research are extracting technology to extract biocompound from local mushroom for producing functional food and healthy food. We also research to find out technology to process orange fruits, passion fruit, banana fruit under purees for exporting to Western market. Yeah. That are some of our recent research in plant-based food technology to improve the quality of Vietnamese fruits. Thank you very much for your attention. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lee Hai. Very impressive presentation. So Vietnam, you mentioned have a lot of several kind of fruit and they have the very high production of fruit in Vietnam. So you have to do the research and development to in the post-harvest how to keep avoid the decay of the fruit for the export. Something you have the technology to maintain for the shelf life of the fruit, several kind of fruit that you mentioned. Very interesting. Now, according to the time, it's going up really fast. So maybe have to move to the second question. Maybe the second question and the third question, maybe we have to make it briefly, shortly. No need to presentation in the present the PowerPoint. No need. Okay, turn to the second question. Yeah. So as the Asia is going to become the next general hub for the plant-based ingredient and food and beverage market. So what is the topic that important that we need to urgently to done or to study for prepare for our to be the next regional hub of the plant-based in the future? Yeah, could you express for your idea very shortly? Yeah, we start same from the beginning from Brunei, please.
Thank you. Okay, just to recap a bit from what I mentioned in the first question, that the projects that we are doing, we try to develop meatless patty, sausage-like products, and then cream cheese. But then after going through the ASEAN delegates' presentations, they've done a lot. Okay, but then this is from the Brunei point of view. The challenge we have at the moment is trying to make the meatless patty, the flavor is still off. Okay, so I think from our side, the main topic is how to get the right flavor. Okay, optimizing the flavor. So one of the most important topic for us is, I think, to improve the flavor, hence removing the off flavors and off taste for meatless patties. But I can see Singapore has done lab-based meat, and then I see other countries as well has done a lot of products. That's from the food side, food product itself. If technology side, I think an important topic would be the use of green technologies in producing these plant-based food products, because as we want to have the benefit environmentally, health. So I think using green technology as in this research area is very important. That's all I want to share. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now turn to the Cambodia, Dr. Lesmi Tan. So what do you think about to to do very urgently to make our to be the next hub of the plant-based. Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Regarding question number 2, for me, I think new product development on abundant plant available in the country should be focused because in different country we have different abundant plant. So like in Cambodia, the first plant is rice, next is cassava, cashew apple and banana. So I think like for my country, we should focus on development of new product related to rice and also cassava. For the we still import a lot of processed product from other country to Cambodia, even though we are agricultural country. So yeah, but the challenge is about whether this new product can replace meat and also have health promoting effect. That's what we have to focus on. And yes, as Cambodia is developing country, we still need to learn more from other country because we still far behind the other country. So it's good to study also from other countries. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lesmi Tang. Thank you. So the next to the Indonesia, Dr. Heni Pawanisi. Yeah, what about your idea, please?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
in Indonesia, maybe the future we can explore local food from Indonesia and use to increase the functional food, and then we can collaboration with other country and the increase of the product, and then we can have a market in international market. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, very informative. So turn to the Dr. Okay. Dr. Henny already, maybe? Okay. Okay. Now turn to Dr. Santi Kongmani from the Laos, please.
Okay, thank you very much for the question number 2. As I mentioned previously already that, of course, what we will do in the future, so we have to understand ourselves. So every country have different potential on the raw material for the fruit, for the plant-based product. So for Laos side, as I mentioned previously, that we will focus on rice-based product, okay? And then we will try to exchange knowledge and to get knowledge from other country that they already develop this kind of technology, and then we apply in our country and we can grow together. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Santi. Thank you. Now turn to the Malaysia. Miss Saifu Sanadi Salifuddin. So would you share the idea for the second question, please?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I try to summarize the question 2 and 3 together. For me, we ASEAN shared a very common traditional food, which are very rich in fiber and also proteins. I think this product can be valorized further and improve further in terms of the processing to increase the metabolites, to increase the efficiency, the yield of the process. And the most important thing is that to validate the claims, because we have all sorts of claims from our traditional foods. So I think the functionality study is very important for us to cater the health and supplement industry. And also, we need to rebrand the traditional food so that the younger generation will buy and consume it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very interesting, very impressive. Thank you. Now turn to Philippines. Ms. Trinidad T. Canajos, please, would you please express your idea about the second question, please?
Yes, I think we really have to focus on the determination of the functional attributes of isolated plant proteins because, as we all know, the plant proteins are different from the proteins that we get from the animal sources. And even the different plant proteins vary in structure. Second is we have to develop sustainable and cost-effective processes for protein extraction because sometimes there is a trade-off between purity of isolates and the yield of the ingredients. And of course, to reduce co-products of extraction, which will create waste or utilize co-products of extraction. Third, there is a need to improve the sensory properties of plant-based meat products so that we can achieve the flavor, the color, and texture of the counterpart of the meat product and reduce the amount of additives and flavorings which are often used to mask the undesirable sensory properties. This is more on the issue on the allowable, for example, sodium intake and permissible levels of the additives that we add to this alternative meat sources. And lastly is to optimize crops for protein, content, quality, and function. For example, breeding of crops with increased protein content and quality. The use of biotechnology may be helpful to increase the quality of proteins of a certain crop and use novel protein sources that are less resource intensive.
Thank you very much. Very interesting idea. Now turn to Singapore. Dr. Chuan Yong Ji Sim, please.
Thank you, Thank you very much. So I think for any successful food products, plant-based or not, there are three things that are important: taste, nutrition, and cost. In the plant-based space, as I already mentioned, maybe one thing that has been highlighted is that when people try plant-based foods, they're very excited, but you don't have repeat customers. Maybe with the exception of CP Foods. I tried CP Foods Meat Zero, fantastic. But I think that's really a challenge to work in this area. So for example, I mentioned plant-based fats. That might be something we really need to work on. Secondly, in nutrition, a lot of at least the Western plant-based products, they are high in saturated fat, high in sodium. So traditional vegetarian diets, which are actually healthier, may not necessarily translate to these plant-based products. So we got to be very clear that they are not the same, that these new plant-based products needs to be validated clinically and to be made healthier. And thirdly, cost. One of the major concerns that actually some of my colleagues have already highlighted is, what if, as we try to grow the ingredients regionally, the Western world or other developed world countries, they try to import these ingredients and raises the cost for the local population, then that's going to be an issue as well. But also, can we also look beyond just looking at these Western plant-based products, some of the more traditional products here in the ASEAN region, tempeh, tofu, things we should really be focusing on, which I'm very happy to hear that my colleagues have talked about. And as a representative from Singapore, we don't have a lot of food history because we are a young nation. But that's something we also would love to work with our regional partners to look at all these different foods as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very interesting idea. Thank you. Now to the Dr. Siriporn from Thailand. Could you share your idea, please?
Thank you. I think I agree with Dr. Sean. The three things that we have to concern about the plant-based, like source, technology, cost, right? Taste and cost. I think this is a good idea to, do a research on our bed area. Like in your country, what is your important agriculture resources that you have. You have to push, you have to collect the right material to, enhance that property. Enhance the raw material to get to be the best the products, to get the best plant-based products. So I think 3 points that we have to concern, importantly now, I think the resources. Like in Thailand, I think the power of Thailand, we have Laos, another country in Southeast Asia, rice. we have rice. We have to push them. We have to like empower and like how to empower actually. We need to use the process and technology. As Brunei said, we now we need a green method, green technology. Like what? Like for example, green technology like we don't need like the chemical like heat process a lot. For example, like we need to do like in the expertise from Malaysia, the fermentation using the microorganism, right? Yeah, and sometimes not sometimes. I mean that like if you have heard about the protease, like for example, for polypeptide and bioactive peptide, I think you guys have heard about this composition. They use the green technology. They use the enzyme from bacteria or aspergillus something to produce the short chain of polypeptide. This is the green technology. What challenge is we gonna do? Is we have to study about the deeply optimized type of enzyme process, optimum of process to get the bioactive ingredient that to develop the products. This is the my point of view of technology. I agree with Brunei that we should develop and deeply to study about the green technology to produce. As you have mentioned about the meat in the cell, right? Lab cell, yeah. I think this was innovation. Is what innovation. You have to transfer technology for us because we all have a lot of raw material. But I think Singapore, they are expertise and they are expert on the innovation method that you can transfer for us for all of country. Yeah, and I think even the we have the how to say like tasty and outstanding product. But if we don't do a marketing, you know. If we just have, I have a delicious products you have tried, but I think the strength point that we have to work on is the marketing. We should have a good marketing too. If we have a good raw material, we have good process, but we didn't do a marketing. No, it's the end, right? Yeah, this is my point of view. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you much, Dr. Siliphon. So, of course, we have the cooperation among the ASEAN country. Don't worry. Thank you. Okay, the next Vietnam, Dr. Lee Ha Hai, would you please share your idea how to be the next of the hub of the plant-based?
Yes, for Vietnam country, our country is agriculture country, so we have a diversity of product from agriculture field. Yeah. However, the economic value of agriculture product of Vietnam is so low. Not only our institute, but also Vietnamese government very interesting how to find out the suitable technology to process Vietnamese agriculture product to enhance the quality and value of agriculture. So now Vietnamese government invest so many projects to find out deep technology, deep processing technology to process Vietnamese agriculture product, such as extraction technology to extract bio compound from herb plant and deep processing technology to process product from rice and from some agricultural product in Vietnam. And I agree with Thai expert and Brunei experts. Green processing technology is very important for us in at present. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, now we turn to the last question, the number 3. So would you share the opinion to enhance the potential to deliver of the sustainable and affordable of the plant-based protein production in our region? How we enhance our potential, the potency of our country to make of the sustainable production of plant-based in our country. Yeah, maybe very short answer, please. Start from Brunei, please.
Thank you. Okay, so how to enhance our potential to deliver these plant-based food products? I think I'm repeating what the rest have said actually. One is to make them awareness. Dr. Santi from Laos mentioned this just now as well. Increase the awareness to the consumers, to the community about the plant-based food product. Because as I mentioned in Brunei, it's very new. They're not open up yet for plant-based food products, but that's what we're working on. And then another thing to enhance is Dr. Siripon mentioned about marketing, make it more attractive, by improving the flavor, the taste, the texture. So I think that's one way to enhance, to deliver these products. And someone mentioned as well just now collaborations among the countries, among the universities, the industries, how to so that we can improve this area and bring it out internationally. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, now turn to the second one of from Cambodia, Dr. Lesmi Thang, please.
Hello. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Go on.
To answer to this question, I have 5 points to consider. First one is to continue to do on plant-based product. And the second one is to strengthen and also expanding the research collaboration, not only local, but also with international partner, because we can learn from each other. And the third one is to get involved from different stakeholders, like university, private and public sector. And also the fourth one is to have adoption of smart farming system. And the fifth one is to transform waste into high value added products for achieving zero waste. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lasmi. Now turn to Dr. Heni Purwanisi from Indonesia, please.
Okay, thank you. To sustainable the product, we can transfer our dissemination technology for home industry in Indonesia and other country, and then we can collaboration with the stakeholder in my country to increase the product and to promote the product, and then we can sustainable for my product like mocaf, like tempe, like other modification for mix mocaf and tempe in Indonesia. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Henny. Now, Dr. Sandy Kongmani from Laos, please.
Yes, thank you very much for the third questions. And again, that I mentioned that to enhance the potential as every country already present that they have many resources. But important thing is how can we promote of the plants cultivation or production, and then how can we improve the post harvesting, and then how can develop the technology that we can transform the product that we produce, the plant that we produce, and then to be the products, and then how can we give the awareness, as we said previously, that awareness to all stakeholders is very important. Not only the producer, not only the customer, but all people should be involved. Meaning involvement of the society is very important to enhance and sustain our plant-based production. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. Now turn to Ms. Shaifu Asani Safridun from Malaysia, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I think I have to agree with most of the panel that it needs to be, awareness is important thing, not only the consumers, the industry, and also the government to develop the plant-based, to utilize our local resources, to diversify the product so that the people will grow certain crops, and also they need to introduce new technology to improve the processes, its stability, especially in the GI tract environment. And lastly, the most important thing, the branding and marketing. Without a good brand and marketing, you cannot sell anything at this time. And we need to get into the trend. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now to the Mr. Trinidad Arcangel from Philippines, please.
Yes, I think we have to commercialize all the prototype technologies, because if these technologies are not commercialized, then it would be a waste of resources. Next is, like the other panelists have mentioned, there should be a strong public-private partnerships, not only in our countries but internationally. We have to link so that we could transfer also our technologies to yours and yours to ours. And of course, lastly, there should be a provision of reasonable investments for the research of plant-based R&D. Because if we don't have any investment, so we cannot develop these products. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now turn to Dr. Xuan Yong Ji Sim from Singapore.
Thank you. So I think my colleagues on the stage have already eloquently elaborated some of these challenges and opportunities. I think personally, I think that each country in the ASEAN region has its own unique challenges, whether in all sorts of areas. So it'll be very hard to say there's one solution that can fix everything. But I think, like for example, even the types of food we eat, during lunch, we were just asking what sort of food, local food, do you like to eat? And everyone has different answers, right? But I would like to thank TISTER and thank the organizers for having this platform where we can come together and really share different perspectives and ideas, solutions, so we can then be able to apply maybe some of these things back in our own countries and enhance cooperation. So I think that's my answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, Dr. Siriporn from Thailand, please share your idea.
Yeah, thank you. I think we have talked a lot like yesterday since today about our background, our research, our collaboration. For Thailand, actually, we have a collaboration. Like I talked to Dr. Henry, we have a collaboration together about the plant-based projects that we got from the Vital projects. Yeah, this is the good the good beginning together to work together and develop the product together. And I agree with the Philippines that we have to transfer the technology. if you have like you found some innovation method or technology, and you want to share, you want to transfer. Yeah, I think it's a good idea, and thank for this event, like Dr. Sean said, to like bring us to know each other and share technology, our knowledge, academic thing that we know. Is might help and push us together. Okay.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you. Now turn to the last one. Dr. Lee Ha Hai from Vietnam. Would you
Yes.
please?
I agree with Thai experts. We should share our experience together. I have a long time to stay in Thailand. I know Thai technology on post-harvest technology, including storage technology and processing technology, is so good. So in the near future, not only Vietnam but also all of us here hope that we will get the good experience from Thailand, from Thai experts for sharing the technology to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you today for the panel discussions on the plant-based liberation lesson insight into products and development technology and their future application. So today we have a very good opportunity to share the knowledge and experience in the development of the plant-based and food and technology for the powering of plant-based revolution in our region of ASEAN country. Yeah. And now we have the promote of the cooperation network among our members today. So now we have to share idea, and I think in the future we have operation to strengthen the potentials of the research R&D in the plant-based. So first, maybe I would like to have any question from the floor, please. If you have any idea, don't hesitate to raise your hand up. Maybe very clearly presentation today. So today, on the behalf of Thailand Institute of Scientific and Technology, so really to have to say thank you to all the panelists from our country, of the 9 country, from the Brunei, from the Cambodia, from the Indonesia, from the Laos, from Malaysia, from Philippines, from Singapore, Vietnam, and also Thailand. So we have to thank to the support of the Ministry of the Higher Education, Science, Research, and Innovation for the financial support. And the Thailand Institute of Scientific and Technology, TSCR, also they have the partial supporting for the financial support. And also for the partnership of the InfoMarket of the supporting for in the event of FI Asia 2022. And also, and thank you very much for all the audience for your kind attention. Thank you very much. See you next time. Thank you. Or maybe have to good photo, please, before we leaving. Yeah, maybe. This one, come on.
เป็นข้างล่างดีกว่าไหมคะ กล้องหลังอยู่ไหน Thank you so much. On behalf of the organizers, I would like to once again thank all of speakers here today. And thank you so much to our special moderator, Dr. บัณฑิต ฝั่งศิลป์ค่ะ ขอเสียงประมือให้อีกครั้งหนึ่งด้วยนะคะ วันนี้ต้องบอกว่าเราได้ความรู้ที่อัดแน่นมากๆเลยนะคะ เอาละค่ะ ในส่วนของเมสเตจตรงนี้ค่ะ วันพรุ่งนี้ยังมีหัวข้อสัมมนา แล้วก็เสวนาที่น่าสนใจ วันพรุ่งนี้ค่ะ เราจะมีกันทั้งหมด 3 หัวข้อด้วยกันค่ะ เริ่มต้นตั้งแต่เวลา 11:15 นาทีเป็นต้นไปค่ะ จะเป็นหัวข้อ F&B Trends Impacting the Asian Market นะคะ ถ้าใครสนใจก็มาเจอกันได้ค่ะที่ FI Asia Main Stage นะคะ ตั้งแต่เวลา 11 นาฬิกานะคะ และในรอบบ่ายค่ะยังคงอัดแน่นนะคะ กับ Twist the Arable Place Able Well นะคะ แล้วก็ช่วงท้ายค่ะปิดด้วยการเสวนาในหัวข้อแนวโน้มของอุตสาหกรรมอาหารและเครื่องดื่มนั่นเองค่ะ ต้องบอกว่าเป็นอีกหนึ่งวันที่เราส่งท้ายอัดความรู้แน่นๆให้กับผู้เข้าร่วมงานทุกท่านนะคะถ้าหากท่านใดสนใจค่ะก็สามารถเข้ามาลงทะเบียนนะคะเพื่อที่จะทำการเข้าร่วมฟังสัมมนาและเสวนาในวันพรุ่งนี้ได้ค่ะสำหรับวันนี้ค่ะตรงส่วนของ FI Asia Main Stage ของเราก็เสร็จสิ้นเรียบร้อยแล้วต้องบอกว่าวันนี้เราได้ความรู้ที่อัดแน่นแล้วก็เราได้รับเกียรตินะคะจากวิทยากรจากต่างประเทศด้วยนะคะถึง 9 ท่านด้วยกันนะคะสำหรับวันนี้ค่ะหากมีข้อผิดพลาดประการใดค่ะดิฉันในนามตัวแทนขององค์กรต้องขออภัยมาณที่นี้ด้วยค่ะขอให้ทุกท่านค่ะเพลิดเพลินกับการเดินชมบูธและเยี่ยมงานต่างๆของทาง FI Asia ปี 2022 ได้สำหรับตรงนี้หมดหน้าที่ของดิฉันแล้วเจอกันใหม่ในวันพรุ่งนี้ขอบพระคุณและสวัสดีค่ะ